Evanescence put out a post on Instagram and says, basically, after all of these amazing years, I think it was 7 years that Jen has been with the
She's
band
been
as
there,
the
yeah.
guitar player. We have decided to part ways. We love her so much, wishing, everyone the best. And so it seems like it was kind of a mutual, just, maybe Jen was going off to pursue something else or be in a new band. That's the impression that
That's
I got.
nice. Yeah.
But Jen had something else to say. And so Jen actually went and tweeted, and she goes, just to kind of put it out there and clarify, I had no, decision making in this. This was not what I wanted, but I still love Evanescence, positive vibes. So I got to be honest, I'm kind of taking that as she got fired.
She totally got fired. She totally got fired. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
But she also doesn't want to ruin her gig. She doesn't want to ruin her legacy. She doesn't want to turn off the Evanescence fans. So she's not going to just start talking trash, because she just built, a fan base of her own following her, and, being probably a lot of role models to a lot of musicians coming up for the last 7 years, being a part of this very important band. So she doesn't want to kill her legacy with that. So I'm sure she's keeping it nice, but she wants to make it clear, though, that, I didn't want to quit, because I'm sure she's gonna like, why did you leave? Why did you I
Yeah.
didn't want to.
So I'm gonna get
That's my
to
paycheck.
explaining as an entertainment attorney representing, band members in these big bands, how this works and why you can be like, we're parting ways, and just that's it. That's it. But I saw a comment really fast, Winston. So we've been obviously covering the Amber Heard trial a lot. I have a bruise on my arm. Left forearm is that Amber Heard bruise kit, bruise. I was talking to that ORKO before the show, and I go, where did this come from? This looks very much like a fingerprint. Being a little sassy. No, we're good. We're good. In any case, so the way it works when it comes to musicians who sign with bands, they're work for hires. A work for hire just means you're hired by, we'll say the band, but it's not the band. It's the record label, or it's an LLC that owns the band. It's some entity or person. And they'll have you sign a contract that says, hey, you're going to go on tours with us, you will do music videos with us, PR runs, basically the conglomerate of activities as a band that we do. And we get to use your name and likeness, and we get to do whatever we want, but we also can fire you at any point. And so that's very concerning for a lot of touring musicians, right? Especially when sometimes things happen like COVID, right? So some of my, national acts that go on these massive tours with these huge bands, obviously there's a whole discussion about them just not being able to earn, but
Right.
the security that a band member has, I mean, there's really nothing, unless you were the lead singer, that kind of guarantees your position, because, in most instances, you can't replace the lead singer, right?
Unless you're Van Halen. But the thing is, with this is like the kind of the second big kind of switch that we've seen from a major band. Deftones just went through this exact same thing with Sergio Vega. And he left the band, and they were like, we've decided to Deftones released the statement, we decided to move forward without Sergio on the tour. He's been a part of the band for a long time, and then Sergio was quick to social media. He was like, nope, they, I'm in, but Sergio was one of those things where he wanted to, he was always promised to be to be made a member of the band, and so
Right.
and to
Right.
participate, because he'd been playing on records, he'd been been a part of it for quite a while, since the last bass player died. But I suspect, I wonder if it's a similar kind of situation. I wonder if she wanted maybe a little bit more, and they were like, no, this is hired gun city. I don't know if but somebody made a comment that that no one fired her, and reading her statement, I kind of have to disagree, because she's saying, I did not want to leave, this was not my choice to leave, they made her
Yeah,
leave.
so
So
call it what you want, right? We don't have to say, "Hey, we're severing your, employment." But I mean, again, in practical effect, that's what it is. So Monica on Facebook, I'm way behind on who's in the band. I thought the gentleman was still the one playing the guitar. So actually, Tim McCord, he is the
right,
bass
bass
player
player.
for the band last 14 years. He was announced as stepping up now as lead guitar, and then Emma Anzai, I believe is how you say it, of Sick Puppies, is the one who's coming in now to replace him as bassist.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, and that seems like a natural kind of thing that you see happen a lot of times with bands too. You'll see a bass player will kind of step up, and because it's just a lot easier sometimes for the bass player that's already so much familiar with the songs, and they, a lot of times bass players just want that guitar player spotlight, because just there always seems to be kind of like a hierarchy in bands as far as what position you're played. So that's always looked forward to. But he knows the songs a lot better. I'm sure maybe he's filled in, so it makes it a lot easier for someone to come in and kind of play bass and just kind of figure that out and learn those parts a little bit easier. Not to
Well,
say that
and I know
Evanescence
yeah, and I know that
is
that's
easy
actually
bass
something
players.
that you have had some experience with. We'll get to
Yes.
that in just a second, but Scott, I'm glad you mentioned this. So she's stuck in Germany in 2020, if I remember correctly. My first thought when I kind of was reading this story is I was just really surprised because I know not only has she been in the band for 7 years, part of the family, but I remember that some of the things that Evanescence was doing and not doing was because of this guitar player and the fact that they wanted her to be able to go with them. And one of them, I believe, was tour. And so, the Jen was locked down. She wasn't able to travel, right, because of
Oh,
COVID. And so
COVID.
they go, we're
Yep.
not going to do, these performances. So I just remember thinking that obviously this is a very close knit band. They must consider themselves like a family. So to kind of see that there was some parting of ways for whatever reason, right? I mean, this could be something as simple as their personalities conflict. At some point, you just can't do it anymore working together, or someone wants to have a little more control. And going to your point, I've represented band members of not only national but international smash hit bands who will come back and they'll be like, look, I'm being underpaid. I should be getting
Right.
a percentage of all the band earnings. We see this a
Merch.
lot in different territories, especially in like Mexico, for example, and how the band members are treated. And so we'll go in to try to renegotiate, but it doesn't mean they're getting paid what they're worth. And so
Right.
sometimes it'll be like heads butt, and then management says, all right, adios, we'll find someone who will play ball.
Well, no, and it's like, I have over the years being in the, in rock bands and being just in the music scene, I know a lot of people that are hired guns for bands, and they kind of have this situation where where I kind of stuck with my own band and trying to make it kind of successful and doing a lot of people in town would just go to larger bands. Like I know people that went to 30 Seconds to Mars or the Marilyn Mansons or just different bands. And, it's a great gig. It's, I'm sure that, Jen is going to be missing the money because when you have you're on retainer when you're off. So you're sometimes a lot of times you're in some bands, you're the only one that's constantly getting paid if you're a hired gun because they'll keep you on retainer just to keep you available for when they're not touring. So there's all kinds of different things, but yeah, no, it's a I'm sure she's not missing the gig, or she's missing the gig because she did not want to leave, according to her message.
Winston, you just are kind of bringing me smiles inside. As an entertainment lawyer, do you have four-legged clients, i.e., dogs or cats, etc.? No, I would absolutely represent my children, right? My four-legged children on any issues. But usually this stuff comes up because a client of mine, who again is in the entertainment industry, will have a problem with, let's say, a dog bite. We've covered dog bites on this channel and kind of the way it works and how to deal with it. So yes, I have dealt with these situations and fought strongly on behalf of the beloved little ones. All right, so there's
Bruce had
been,
a
let's
comment.
see.
Yeah, it seems they've gone through several guitar players. Bruce is reminding us. I think that, yeah, they've had quite a bit of line changes since the inception of Evanescence. So, and this just happens. This happens like all the time with bands. So
Yeah, so very, very interesting stuff. And then, guys, if you want to see that recap on the interview that I did kind of reacting to Amy Lee, that's also on this channel. Just go search our videos. And then also on the music side, because I love Amy Lee, I love
yes,
Evanescence. So that ORKO actually produced a cover song that I sang on. But we did an Evanescence cover song, which was on the
the
EP.
Call
So
Me
you
When
should
You're
check that
Sober.
out. On the, I think I'm trying to remember which EP it was on. Was it 1 or 2?
It was covers volume 2. We have a covers volume 2 record, and she did a cover of Evanescence's.
Yes. So definitely check that out.